An essay about artificial intelligence, AI, causing drastic changes to society has gone very, very viral on social media.
Now, Matt Shumer, CEO of HyperWriteAI, wrote a lengthy post titled Something Big is Happening, that AI will have more life-changing impacts than COVID. Schumer writes, quote, I am no longer needed for the actual technical work of my job. I'm not exaggerating. The model that was released last week, GPT 5.3 Codex, wasn't just executing my instructions. It was making intelligent decisions. It had something that felt, for the first time, like judgment, like taste.
Schumer continued, quote, the experience that tech workers have had over the past year of watching AI go from helpful tool to does my job better than I do it is the experience everyone else is about to have, including law, finance, medicine, accounting, consulting, writing, design, analysis, customer service.
Schumer's warning of an AI disruption soon became viral on social media. Meanwhile, political commentator Matt Walsh agrees with Matt Schumer, writing on X, quote, this is a really good article. AI is going to wipe out millions of jobs. It's happening now. Everything is changing. The avalanche is already here. Most of what we're currently arguing about will be irrelevant very soon. Senator Bernie Sanders, a vocal critic of developments in artificial intelligence, wrote on X on Wednesday, quote, as AI threatens millions of jobs, the answer isn't letting billionaires automate everything. It's a 32-hour work week with no loss in pay. It's stronger unions. It's making sure technology benefits workers, not just Musk and Bezos.
A 32-hour work week? That's
I like a 4-hour
preposterous.
work week. That's one of my
Oh my
favorite
God.
books.
Political commentator Charles Haywood wrote on X, I figured out why people are so desperate to believe AI will change everything, despite zero evidence that it is or will happen. It's because, for some on both the right and left, it's a way out. In Matt's hopeful words, most of what we're currently arguing about will be irrelevant very soon. Hmm. Joe Weisenthal from The Stalwart writes, seeing a lot of posts from software engineers that are like, AI is devouring my job and soon it will happen to everyone. And it's like, maybe, but just because you have an easy job doesn't mean everyone else does.
Some software developers and technology researchers are also quitting their jobs over AI disruption threats. A former researcher at OpenAI, in an article for the New York Times titled OpenAI is making the mistakes Facebook made, I quit, says, quote, I once believed I could help the people building AI get ahead of the problems it would create. This week confirmed my slow realization that OpenAI seems to have stopped asking the questions I joined to help answer.
Another employee at Anthropic, Mirnak Sharma, shared his resignation letter on X, saying that jobs at his company. Says that at the job at his company, he constantly felt the pressure to set aside what mattered most for the broader society. Hmm.
I'm I'm going to be a little critical of like the Bernie Sanders take and some of that
Mhm.
because I just think, it's like
Yeah,
that old
it was
adage of
dumb.
no, Bernie Sanders is not a dumb man. So I'm
I
gonna
didn't say he was dumb. That was a
okay,
dumb
but
take.
okay, I just don't agree with the take. I'm not going to criticize my boy Bernie, but I think that we need to understand that this is the evolution of society, right? We used to like do hard labor in the
Right.
fields and then we got machinery to do it. We
Correct.
used to in our industry have a ton of radio and four
Exactly.
channels and now we have a million YouTube channels. It just boosted the
Exactly.
economy and created several
Exactly.
ways to do different things. And the other old things still existed, but they had to modernize or change audiences. And so I just think AI is very helpful, and as a business owner, it's very helpful for me to take some of those mundane tasks that don't actually require the creativity or skill that for me producing content and creating shows, filming, using actual cameras. This is work, right? It really probably can't be replaced by AI unless we use AI people to do the things. But the parts like creating a deck to get a partnership, like this all can be done with AI. Like, okay, we do the same thing here, the numbers from this year, like so I appreciate AI, but I also am one of those people that has like the fears that we've seen AI do some of the wrong things, like people using it in the wrong ways for therapy. You know how I feel about young kids getting information from AI, and it gets a little scary because people have died taking advice. Now, maybe not, you can't blame ChatGPT
Right.
for
Two people.
aggregating information. It still is an example. I'm just telling you, it's happened, so that's scary. I also think the faster that it moves, because it is moving really faster than humans are moving, the regulation cannot keep up with that. And so you are very hesitant to put any type of regulation on AI. But I think that Congress should be looking at this to make sure that we're figuring out the right ways to protect specifically young people and protect people from some of the damages that it might do.
Right. I'm not going to take the position that there should be absolutely no or zero regulation of AI. There's not zero regulation of anything. There will need to be some parameters worked out. I've talked about how we're going to have to update our Section 230, the internet statute that that explains who's liable for speech, is going to have to be take into account this new technology because it's not clear who's liable for what. So there will just be some areas where lawmakers need to think about it. Yeah, this article. So I agree with you, and I've made these same points. You know, people say, "Oh, we're about to lose millions and millions of jobs." First of all, okay, so says you. And this article is dramatic.
It is.
Like, this
I read it.
It's saying this is like the equivalent to the time period February 2020, where we had no idea what was about to happen to us.
That part of the article really pulled on my heartstrings because I was one of the people that was like, okay.
I take that warning very seriously because COVID was not a happy time for anyone, myself included. I horror struck by the societal changes. I don't want to go through anything like that. I want to go through the robot apocalypse. So that's what he's saying. Now, he also says, though, and you got to be careful for this because it's buried deep in the article. He's saying eventually the ask comes in. You know what he tells you to do? His one piece of advice: pay $20 for a subscription to the AI he has. Selling something. It's a salesman's technique. You got to stay up to date on this. Fork over your cash now. That's what these are hustlers. These tech people whom I like, and I don't want regulated out of existence. And I'm on the same side as the tech. They're hustlers, and they're always saying,
He's hustling us.
No, they're always saying, "Oh my God, your mind's about to be blown. You can't even comprehend what we've come up with. We're gonna be jumping off buildings. It's so crazy." And then it's like, okay, you invented the like button. Like, share, like, temper your enthusiasm, young man, for this cool thing you just made. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Then on the other side, you have a lot of doomerism takes, like, oh my God, we won't have any of the, what, people will just walk around shuffling with no job to go to. Okay, but every time a new technology comes along, it wipes out some category of employment, but then a new category of employment comes along, just like you were saying with, in media, with radio, with anything. Most people did back-breaking farm labor for most of human history, and then most of those jobs got wiped out, but we have more food than ever, and life expectancy is longer, and fewer people starve. They went and did factory jobs, and the factory jobs were dangerous, but were less bad than the farming jobs, and then those got mostly wiped out. Interestingly enough, with this wave of AI, the jobs that are most protected are the labor-intensive ones, because this is not actually robots. This is going to obsolete, as far as I can tell, jobs that are overly involved in tedious research. That includes legal research. He talked specifically about, going through case law and figuring all that. The AI can give you a very good, and it is true that, if you haven't updated your priors about AI in the last year and a half, what they have now is getting very, very advanced. This thing can write code itself. Like that, learn to code. Hope you didn't take that advice too seriously, because the AI will do it.
That was a big push.
But it's not going to eliminate. He also he talks about it eliminating creative jobs. Frankly, our types of jobs. But our types of jobs can't be eliminated because no one else. Sorry, I own a monopoly on words by Robbie Suave. So you can't AI that.
You know what's it's timely right now because there's a current thing happening with two really big talk shows. Kelly Clarkson's show and Sherry Shepherd's show are both going away. And a lot of people are upset and sad about it. But at the same time, maybe like a month ago, we saw
Sherry Shepherd's show's going away?
Yeah.
Oh.
And just like we heard this about a month ago, but about a month ago, we also heard that Netflix has licensed about like 70 podcasts. And so when you think about like the number of people that work on talk shows and the way that people consume that, and then the variety of shows, and maybe if they have 5 staff members per podcast, let's say 10, like this, it's almost similar and also more variety for people that want to listen to somebody as a guest on this specific topic. So it is sad and changing the way that we consumed. And as I grew up watching these type of shows, but then there's also a space for somebody to be the highest paid, probably more paid if you look at like Joe Rogan podcasts are out there as the industry continues to build, which could be Kelly Clarkson or Sherry Shepherd if they want to continue down that route. So I think there's like a lot that can happen here and people don't have to really freak out. But I do think we need to set standards on who controls, like what safety standards there are. It can't just be Bezos, can't just be Musk and whoever's running these things. We have to see who legitimately is overseeing these guys because they're going to do what works best for them, which always is not what works best for the people paying their entire lifestyle.
Sure, but usually dispassionately putting profit motivation first tends to redound to the benefit of humanity, is what I would say. whereas government regulators don't know what's in the best interest of humanity.
We could argue this for hours,
I
but I'm
could
not going to.
genuinely talk about this for another hour, but unfortunately,
We have to
we are
go.
still on live television, so we got to move along.
Up next, the Gallup organization will no longer track presidential approval ratings. After more than 8 decades of doing so, man, just when President Trump was so good. We'll be right back after this.